Okay guys, so we're back with part 3. Welcome back if you're joining us and following along. So the first two lessons, what we did was we took our image and we applied some filter techniques, we applied some repair techniques in order to take care of some spots of damage. We went ahead and transformed the image and placed it into a new style, allowing us to go ahead and run our repairs that we need to run. So in the second video, we then done our repairs, and then in this third video, what we're going to now get to do is we're going to get to do the fun bit. We're going to get to do some colouring. Yay! Okay, so if we've got a selection of layers together like this, what we're going to do is we're going to right click on them. We're going to select them all. So we're going to select the first layer, hold shift, select the last layer. So now we've got them all. We're going to right click on them. We're going to say group, quick group. We'll pop them all into there. I'm going to say work layer. Complete. Okay, so that means that what I've wanted to do on all these layers is now physically complete, and I'm happy with it. Now, once I've got that layer, I'm going to duplicate it, and then I'm going to right click, and as we did in the previous video, we're going to say flatten group. So we don't want to flatten the image. Merge group. There we go. So that's going to merge the group now into one image, so we can get rid of these two, and boom, look, it's just that image. Excellent. So I'm going to head and make a lock of this one now, because we know this is work we don't want to change anymore. So we're going to add our lock. So this means this can't be changed. So if we ever need to make a change, we can come all the way back here and make a change, and then we can come back to the top again and then begin to think. So this is our colouring layer. Let me see here. Colouring layer. Okay. So this is going to provide the basis for our colours to go on the top, and this is the first of our abilities to set them together. So I'm going to go ahead and set that into a group. Sorry about the noise. Set that as my colour. I'm just going to right click. I'm going to set mine to red. Red doesn't apply any colours to it. All it does is it just gives me a visual symbol and says this is your colour layer. Now usually this is grey, but as you can see the colour difference ain't that great, so I know it's usually my first layer. My second one is red, which is here. Okay, so above this colouring layer, I'm going to go above that and I'm going to add my first set of colours. Now, if you've never used Krita before, that's fine. You've got all kinds of ways to select colours here around here. If you haven't got this colour selection right here, you can go over to your palette tool. You can go down to this button right here, choose palette, and you want to choose concept cookie right at the top. You're going to click that, and then you're going to click off it, and then that's it. You should have this here, and then you're going to have this range of colours right here. If not, you can get these from a facial or a tone palette just by simply searching for it in Google. But this gives us a fair range to work from right now. Okay, so it's not a gradient tool we want a brush tool. We want a fair old size brush. Everything right now is going to be quite wishy-washy and very quickly applied in order to get things moving. So we've got 3 people. So excuse me, that's 3 sets of colours for our skins. So if we want to start off in a slightly darker range, we know these people are probably Caucasian. Let's just say they get a bit of a tan. So we're going to select in this sort of range. What we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and just colour where their bodies will be coloured with a colour, of course, rather than we're going to make sure we've got an ink brush selected. I'm sure you guys would have made sure you'd done that. You wouldn't make a mistake like me. Don't worry if you did. I did it too. So okay, we're going to apply a roughly one colour in this position on her face. And I want it all there. Making sure that I'm on one of my new layers, because if you're on your old layer, you're going to be very angry because you made a mistake. But that's not too bad, because all you can do is Control Z, or go ahead and select Edit and Undo. Go back to the place where you made your first edit, and then start again from there. Now, I come along here, edit this, make sure that's all coloured in by skin. Along here, that, down here, and up here, and along here, here, here. I think I pretty much got it all there. Okay, so I've got grandma's there. Okay, and now I need to get this bit here. I apologise if it's not a grandma there. It's just a phrase I'm using just to reference the lady I'm working on. I come down here. I'm going to select it all down here. Apply it here. I'm going to select it all here. This is where I want the colour. I want it here. I want it here. I want it up here. I want it along here, around here. I want it up here, down there, and along here. Don't want any bits missed there. Thank you very much. So, okay, there we go. It's kind of how we want it now. Don't worry about the little spots where we've gone off. What we can do, we can come back. We can set the opacity to 50% like this, and we can go ahead and switch to our eraser tool, lower our brush size, and then we can come back in and edit any over paints that we've done. Sometimes over paints are good because that means you can get onto the very corners of an image. Because sometimes if you miss these out, it can really lose the punch of your image. So let's go in here, take away that bit there. Okay, come in against the shoes. We don't need that bit. This bit's a bit out of line. Now, whether you do this as you're painting it, or whether you come back and do it my way and get rid of it, that's entirely up to you. That's personal preference. I like to do it this way, just purely because sometimes if I want to change the way an image looks, if I want to just apply a bit of artistic effect to it and change how that comes together, I can begin to do that relatively easy at that level. Taking the eraser brush off and allow me just to fill that bit in there like that. Okay, if I went too far, hit the eraser brush again, bit of the excess. Okay, so excellent. Okay, I think we've got that there. We've got this one coloured in. So we're going to switch that now from a normal, and we're going to switch it down to a colour layer. Okay, so you can see it's applied this colour to this range here. We can see we need to take our eraser brush off again, just up the size of our brush, and just catch this bit of forehead along here, along there, this bit right here. Oh, we miss a bit of the ear. Not very good. Okay, along here, along the top. Alrighty then. Alright. Okay, so we've got how that kind of looks right there. We're going to make sure everywhere on the arm, yeah, that's looking good. That bit there, bit in here. So we got that bit right in there where we need to get to. Let's our eraser brush. We've done overshot on the dress a little bit there. You can see the dress is actually there. Okay, so we got rid of that. Now that line looks very neat. So where it's gone over onto the plants here, there's two options. We can either place the plant over the top of it, or we can erase at this level. But what I prefer to do is place the plant layer over the top because it's higher in the scene anyway. It's higher and lower, but this plant particularly here is higher. So okay, we're gonna have a look at this. Yeah, I'm kind of happy with that. Okay, so what we're gonna then we'll call this one. We're gonna call this one right person. Okay, so that means it's the person on the right. Then we're gonna go to this one, and we're gonna say, okay, we've got this color for this chap here, and then we're gonna repeat the entire process. First off, we're gonna color him in. Sure, if we go over a little bit, or we color up to the lines, that's completely up to ourselves how we do that, but we can do this. So if you were working in this method again, and you wanted to see exactly how much you'd painted, you can set the opacity on this layer, which is how a lot of people color. They come over here and they set the opacity down, and they do that, and that's how they apply their color. There's nothing wrong with that. You can see that it bleaches the image ever so slightly. So it's a method, but it's not the one we want to use. Okay, so now we've got the head in. Let's go ahead and do the arms. Okay, so I'm just going to do these now very quickly, very crudely, get it all in, just to show you quickly what it would look like, and then I'm going to pause the recording, go back in and repeat the process, just tidying up every bit of skin, making sure it's all nice and neat, and then we'll come back together and we'll do colouring layer part 2, where we'll go ahead and do some edits to our colouring to make sure everything looks really good. So now what we want to do is we want to get some base colour in here and see what it looks like with a bit of colour and see how it all comes together. There we go, like that. Okay, about good. Right. So I say about right now this isn't about accuracy. So you can take a bit of time over this and you can make sure you get every last bit where it needs and not places where it's not. See me before we went in and we edited what we'd selected and what we hadn't. So I'm going to take this one, I'm going to flip this one to a colour. Now this one's turned out slightly different. Now we followed the same methodology. So what have we done different? Well, what we did was we got a different layer of opacity. There you go. You can get different facial tones. So maybe he's a little bit more toned than Grandma. That's okay. We get some good colour in the legs, some good colour in the face. That's fine. Again, it's going to look a bit washed out, but we can go ahead and apply some filters later in order to really pull that back through. Okay, so this is going to be the center person. Center person. Okay, and then finally when I come back in, and we're going to do exactly the same. Third one. Okay, so there we go. So how this works by now, we're going to go through, we're going to look for everywhere his skin's exposed. I'm going to quickly just colour it in. This, we can see his top comes down here like this, so we can see all his little chest. Like that. Go up here, go right here in along there. Okay, just see that chest there and along there, that's okay. His arms down here and going off behind his body, that's fine. And over here, this is all skin in this area, that's great. We just colour that in like that. Come in close to his top as we can. His belt obstructs, but that's fine. We'll get rid of that extra little bit in a minute. We can see his belly through the bottom, through the middle point here. Colour that in. Oh, we missed a few spots. Make sure we get those. Awesome. Right, okay, coming down here. We're going to come down, we're going to touch up the legs. That sounded a bit wrong. But we're touching up the image. Don't forget it's an image. Right, okay. Okay. Now, got that. I'm going to switch this to a colour. Okay, and then as we know before, we need to drop the opacity down like that. Okay, so now we can begin to see three people with variations of the same skin tone. So already it's looking a bit unnatural, but we're not too bothered at the moment. This is about just applying a bit of colour and about starting to getting the image looking a bit more realistic as far as the colouring goes. So this is then the left person. Okay. So the reason why we label them like this is because when we begin to come in later on and we begin to add a group layer, then we know this is all part of the right person like this, okay? So then we can add this one to there and we know that right person is relative to that grouping. So if we close down right person, we'll close down any edits that are made to that person as a whole. a whole rather than as individual pieces. It may or may not adjust. Just give me a minute. Get back in there. It may or may not adjust your opacity level on the application layer. For that, what you want to do is you want to make sure you go back up to 100% on the individual layer, and then readjust here in order to get that definition back again. As you can see, we lose some details of the glasses and stuff like that, which we can, later on, we'll look at eradicating that. So right now, what I want to do is I want to go ahead and do that. I want to create a group layer for each person. Person here. I have a timer on 15 minutes, so we'll just do a few more minutes here, just showing you how to keep this all organized and keep it all together. Okay, we've got the center person's skin color right here. Again, we need to go to 100% there, go back to just that if that's what we want. But right now, again, leave it at 100%. I'm going to come back in here. We're going to create a new layer. Whatever color we want to make this, we're going to go okay, back in here. I want this deep navy blue color. So I'll begin to paint on this color right here. Again, we'll come back in and get rid of those white layers at a later stage. But right now, this is about coloring in the area that I want to put that in. Yeah, all that area there, and there, all this belly down there. Chocolate on his belly. Here. Yeah, yeah. Well, as I say, this is not about being neat right now. We all know how to make sure we get all this in, and we come in and grab a thinner brush and make sure we get this layer here, and present the layers between the fingers, and colour in this area here. As I say, I'm not going to do this all too good right now. This is about just getting this ready as quickly as possible, just to show you some technique. So I'll probably go ahead and tidy up these at a later stage. But now we're going to go back and we're going to set this to a colouring layer. Okay, and we're going to reduce the opacity of it down so we can actually. Okay, so now we've got the face colour and we've got the pants colour. Now, when they're stored in these groups, we're going to end up copying these outside of these groups. All we're worried about right now is just getting the detail in and applying where things are. And we're applying them in groups like this just to make sure it's easy for us to come back and look about what we were working on at that point. So if you wanted to label these better, you could say the skin tone right there. Okay. So I know then that's their skin tone. And I never say center person here. Again, you could be calling this boy 1, boy 2, whatever you want, but for the purposes of this, I'm calling it center person. These will eventually be dragged outside of this group before we actually physically do anything. But as you can see, what we're doing is we're building up the layers on which we would go ahead and apply colour. So I'm not going to record this all in one go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to record the speed up of me go ahead and colouring each individual bit, and then I'm going to come back and then I'm going to go through the settings with you. So I will record it, but it's just going to be in fast forward. So join you soon.